Giants fans, it is not any Victory Monday right now. We've had a lot of great Victory Mondays this year, but this one 100% takes the cake. This one, it's not even close. This one, I had to stop work and make a video about it. The New York Giants are in the playoffs for the first time since 2016. The New York Giants are in the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. The New York Football Giants, after 2017, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 5 straight losing seasons, in an amazing, truly amazing, stupendous turnaround with Brian Daboll, the head coach, Wink Martindale, the DC, Joe Shane, the general manager, Brandon Brown, the assistant GM, everybody involved of this new regime under these guys in their first year here are in the playoffs. Mr. Daniel Jones has been playing himself into a well-deserved, well-earned, new, freshly minted contract. Mr. Saquon Barkley has been doing the same, but Saquon deserves all the credit he can get, and he has been, for a good amount of this season, the driving force of that offense. But I'd say in the second half, anybody that's been watching the games has realized that they've slowly but surely have been focusing more on the passing game, have been letting, as Twitter says, Danny Dime. He has been putting together a really nice month. Ever since, I'd say, the Washington tie, we've been focusing the offense a little bit more on Daniel Jones himself. Daniel has looked a lot more comfortable. He's been doing a lot of what fans that weren't too sure about him have been asking. That's, let's see you make some plays in crunch time. Let's see you be a little bit clutch, where it's like you're the one. It's not a design play that equals to a touchdown or something like that. And the reason I bring up that specific example is because that's what we've seen in 2 weeks. He's using his legs to make a touchdown happen where a touchdown probably won't happen. He has been playing himself into that second contract, and he continues to do that. He's going to get that second contract. For those of you that watch me on the podcast, especially these past couple of weeks, that's at least one thing I've been able to do consistently in my busy life so far, is whole Just Chillin' podcast. I've said for over a month now, and basically for the entire season, if we make the playoffs, which we now do, he basically would already be back. But if we go into the playoffs and for some reason there's any doubt with management or whatever, and he has a killer game, he has a signature game, he turns it up a notch, because we do know that can happen. Some players are just a different level in playoff time. Then he is, without a shadow of a doubt, back. Daniel Jones just deserves so much credit after all he's been through, myself included. I went from being a big DJ defender to somebody that's not too sure about him, but I can admit what I've seen on the field for this past month, I'm like, yo, he looks so good. He looks better than before, I feel like is the better term to use. But Giants fans, enough about that. It's agenda pushing time. The New York Giants, Big Blue, is back in the playoffs. We need to start pushing some agendas. We need to start pushing the Super Bowl agenda. Now, hear me out. Nobody ever thought that we would be here in the first place, all right? Nobody in their right mind thought the New York Giants would even be a playoff team right now. And nobody in their right mind ever thought any of the previous two Giants, say Super Bowl teams would be in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, I know. Nobody wants to hear that reasoning. Everybody hates it, but it is agenda pushing time. Be proud of your team. Be confident in your team, especially with how they've played over the past month. Let's be honest. The only question mark with this team, and we've had a really great season, all things considered, injuries, losing players in free agency and whatnot, all things considered, mostly the injuries. We've had a ton. We've had a really great season. What's been like that one concern where, like, if this unit does better, that we'd be solid? It was the offense. And over the past month, the offense has been solid. These past two games, especially the Vikings and now the Colts, we broke that 30-point in regulation streak. Actually dropped 38 on them, and the offense has looked spectacular. And We've played a little bit of a weaker pass defense in the Vikings, but I believe the Colts might have been top 15 in pass defense, and we still sort of just chopped them up. But of course, the big reason the offense is clicking, it once again comes back to Mr. Daniel Jones himself. He looks like a fully realized quarterback. He looks like what Dave Gettleman saw, or what Dave Gettleman claimed to have seen back in 2019, which, by the way, you guys know me. I've been a bigger Dave Gettleman fan than most other people on YouTube. I credit to him where it's due, because the star players on this team are mostly from him, with the exception of Kayvon Thibodeau, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Dexter Lawrence, Andrew Thomas, Xavier McKinney. I could go on. Dave Gettleman has put them here. He deserves all the credit in the world. He also deserves all the opposite, all of the shame in the world, because he was a good drafter. And even that's a little bit of a stretch, because we know how he was in the mid rounds, but he was terrible in free agency and basically everything else that came to be with GM. Enough about that. Gettleman, get out. I saw you lurking over my shoulder. Get out now. That was all the praise you're going to get. Getting back here to the agenda pushing time, another reason, other than just being confident in your team, is because the NFL hasn't seen Mr. Playoff D in the playoffs yet.
Hey, yo, what the?
Playoff D being Daniel Jones. Playoff Daniel. Dirty Dan. It's all coming back. They ain't never seen dual threat Danny come in the playoffs and go to another level. They ain't never seen playoff Saquon.
Hold up. Let him
come in the playoffs. Playoff say, and do some of his thick legs and run over some grown men. They ain't never seen. Well, they have seen playoff Wink. I was about to say they ain't never seen playoff Wink in the playoffs, but they ain't never seen playoff sexy Dexy handle two grown men in each hand and bulldoze them, put them on their backsides in the playoffs. That's what he did this Colts game. Yo, he had two gigantic, big lumbering men in each hand, offensive linemen, and put them down. They ain't never seen that in the playoffs. It's agenda pushing time. And guess who we're matched up against right now? It's the Vikings. And that might stick. That might stick, Giants fans. Do y'all realize that we legitimately can walk into the playoffs, face the Minnesota Vikings, who are no easy opponent, but we faced them just 2 weeks ago, and we were extremely, very, a hair length close to beating that Minnesota Viking team. We are healthier now than we were then. We have McKinney back, and we might get Adoree back by then. And it seems like our offense is better than it was during that game, too. We are becoming a little bit healthier, which is what you want for a team that's going into the playoffs. Hopefully, we get on some sort of a little bit of a streak, even if it's a 2-game win streak. Because, Giants fans, y'all realize that Philadelphia is a very winnable game next week after what they just put up against the Saints? Philadelphia can be a game where we somehow knock the Eagles from winning the NFC East and they drop down. They did not game plan very well against the Saints, and they're not going to put out that same product against us. They're a good team, good organization, unfortunately. They will prepare, they will adapt to us, but it all of a sudden looks like a winnable game. If a team that's getting healthier and somehow gets on a little bit of a hot streak goes into the playoffs, and we face a team that we almost beat not even a month ago, we may not be the favored team, but I think that we can, and you know what, we will beat the Vikings if something like that happens. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, it is agenda pushing time. We're a playoff team. Act like a playoff team, Giants fans. Say we can go to the Super Bowl, because it's very possible. How many teams, just a tremendous amount of teams in NFL history have gone and won the Super Bowl from the wild card spot. Like, I feel most fan bases almost prefer the wild card spot to the first round bye because of that history. Just get it going. Start pushing the agendas. Start giving credit where it's due as well. Daniel Jones, you've been the man this past month. I love it. You're making me into a Jones believer again. I want to see it a little bit more. And you guys can hate me all you want for that. I will accept the hate. I won't deny it. I just want to see it a little bit more. I want to see what the man looks like in the playoffs. I want to see what the team looks like in the playoffs. Can this offense and Mike Kafka, can they do what they've been doing this past month? Isaiah Hodgins, who's been coming on, Richie James, who's been redeeming himself. Can the defense do what they've been doing this past, like, honestly, the entire year? But in terms of pass rushing, this past month, Kayvon and the boys, Dexter and the boys, Leonard Williams and the boys, if Aziz is healthy and the boys, they've been incredible. Gotta see. Well, let's start saying Giants to the Super Bowl. I don't think it's as unrealistic as some are saying it is. That's it for now, guys. Put your comments down below and let me hear it for Playoff D. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for checking out my channel, The Hub, here on Giants YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you hear every time I put out a video. Like it, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.